Do you want to know what makes a narcissist tremble with fear? They always appear strong and invincible, but deep beneath that facade of arrogance lies immense fear. In this video, we will uncover 8 things that terrify narcissists, their fatal weaknesses that could lead to their downfall. Are you ready to unveil these secrets? Let's dive in right now. When you go silent with a narcissist, your silence not only strips them of their power, but also inflicts a deep narcissistic wound, forcing them to confront feelings of vulnerability and insecurity. They are accustomed to your reactions, your responses, and your willingness to dance to their tune. But now, you are silent, indifferent, and no longer revealing what's going on in your mind. Your silence disorients them, like someone wandering in pitch darkness, unable to find a way out. They can't comprehend why you've changed, why you've betrayed the unspoken rules they had imposed. They scrutinize, speculate, and try to uncover the reasons behind your silence. Are you plotting revenge? Are you silently planning to expose their true nature? Or have you found a new source of attention, someone who gives you more than they ever could? Thousands of questions spiral through their minds, sowing seeds of insecurity and anxiety. They feel out of control because they no longer hold the emotional card over you. They can't predict your next move, nor manipulate or control you as they did before. In that silence, everything becomes exposed. Gone are the false praises, the attention-seeking antics, and the victims they used to manipulate and dominate. All that remains is themselves, facing their own reflection, with flaws and wounds they've long buried. Silence acts as a mirror, reflecting their true, ugly self, forcing them to endure toxic emotions like shame, guilt, and emptiness that they desperately try to escape. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it amplifies the noise within their minds. Negative thoughts, fears, and unresolved conflicts loop endlessly, tormenting and destroying them from the inside. When you take control of your emotions and refuse to let them manipulate you, narcissists, like hungry ghosts, constantly lurk, ready to drain your emotional energy. They are masterful parasites who thrive on drama and chaos. Every tear, every sigh, every protest you make is a nourishing elixir for their insatiable ego. When you engage in the battle they've orchestrated, you unwittingly fall into the trap they've set. They want you angry, confused, and out of control so they can bask in the feeling of power and victory. Remember, the stronger your reaction, the more satisfied they feel. There's nothing deep or complex about them. They're simply experts at manipulating emotions and stirring conflict to throw you off balance. Keep in mind that in this game of manipulation, the narcissist's goal isn't to seek the truth or resolve issues. They merely want to drain your energy, feed their warped ego, and quench their thirst for control. They'll weaponize past events, justify wrongdoings with absurd excuses, and say anything to drive you crazy. Don't let yourself get caught up in their whirlwind of justifications or attempts to prove you're right. Narcissists are well aware of the truth but will never admit their faults. Their aim is to shift all responsibility onto you, leaving you drowning in guilt and self-doubt. Instead of reacting, stay calm and set clear boundaries. You don't need to prove anything, because your worth isn't determined by their judgment. Refuse to engage in meaningless arguments or respond to malicious provocations. This is how you protect your energy and maintain your clarity. More importantly, stop trying to explain yourself. They're not interested in the truth, but only in twisting it to suit their narrative. They want to confuse you, make you lose your footing, and ultimately pull you into their web of control. Remember, silence is your strongest shield against emotional manipulators. Trust in yourself and never let them shake your confidence or alter your beliefs. When you leave and cut off contact, narcissists thrive on validation from others. They crave endless admiration, and rely on others to sustain their inflated sense of self-worth. The paradox here is that you are both their source of supply and a threat to their fragile ego. They know that if they can't control you, you could be the one to expose and dismantle the perfect image they've painstakingly crafted for others. The primary reason narcissists cannot tolerate you leaving is their deep need for contrast to bolster their ego. They position themselves as the good person, a role they've self-assigned, while casting you as the bad one. This dynamic allows them to maintain the illusion of their superiority, a psychological necessity for upholding their inflated self-identity. They don't truly need you as an individual. They need the opposition role you play to make themselves feel better, stronger, and superior. By casting you as the villain, they can effortlessly play the hero in their narrative. This aligns with another psychological theory called ego reinforcement theory, which explains that narcissists can't fully perceive themselves without others to act as a backdrop. When you leave the relationship, they are forced to confront the reality that there is no one left to sustain the hero image they've built. This triggers a profound fear because, without comparison, they feel exposed and must face the inner void and insecurities they've long avoided. However, their attempts to hold onto you aren't just tied to invisible bonds of trauma, but also to something more self-serving, convenience. You, by simply being present, have unwittingly become the perfect piece in the life puzzle they've constructed. To them, you're like an unpaid servant, an accessible ATM, and a prop that helps them maintain the facade of a perfect relationship or family, one they long to display to the world as enviable and flawless. In the theater of their life, you are the supporting actor who makes their lead role shine. The convenience you provide extends beyond the material. You offer emotional security and act as a crutch for their fragile ego. You fill the voids in their soul, masking their inner turmoil and hidden fears. Therefore, your departure shakes their world. They lose not only the glamorous facade they worked so hard to maintain, but also the emotional stability you provided. They are left facing the emptiness, the lack of control, and the insecurity that arises when their perfect image suddenly collapses. The fear of public humiliation and being exposed to the truth drives them to cling to you like a sinking ship grasping for a lifeboat in a vast ocean. When you stop seeking validation and ignore them. For a narcissist, change is unlikely. Their nature is devoid of compassion and understanding. The values you might hope to find in them simply don't exist. Don't waste your time or energy waiting for an unlikely redemption. Instead of trying to change them, adopt a more effective strategy. Shift your focus inward, where you have control and agency. One key step in this strategy is letting go of the illusion that a narcissist will feel remorse or understand the pain they've caused. No matter how hard you try to awaken their conscience, the result is often disappointment. This isn't because you're not good enough, but because they lack the capacity to feel. Accepting this harsh truth isn't a defeat, it's a way to free yourself from their toxic grip and open the door to a new chapter in your life. Don't expect recognition or empathy from someone inherently devoid of it. Seeking resonance from them is like drawing on water. Your efforts create fleeting ripples that disappear without a trace. It's crucial to understand that their lack of compassion doesn't reflect your worth. They can't feel, but that's not your fault, and it's certainly not your responsibility to change them. This realization will leave a narcissist disoriented and powerless. Used to manipulating and controlling others' emotions, they'll feel unsettled when you no longer react as expected. They're accustomed to you trying to please them, seeking their approval, or getting drawn into their psychological games. But when you redirect your focus inward, you inadvertently cut off the emotional supply they've been draining from you. Your autonomy, your ability to not need their validation, to stop explaining yourself, and to avoid falling into their emotional traps, is what unsettles them the most. They start to realize that the power they once held over you is slipping away. This may provoke anger, even more sophisticated tactics to try to lure you back into their control. But don't be fooled. Their anger isn't because they hurt. it's because they've lost the control they once enjoyed. While a narcissist may shift their attention to a new target, losing control over you leaves them with a sense of failure. Your freedom and tranquility, no longer reliant on them, represent the greatest defeat for a narcissist. When you recognize your inner strength, narcissists, with their innate desire for control, often use subtle tactics to sow doubt and insecurity in your mind. They don't hesitate to wield sharp, cutting words, distort the truth, and play psychological games to throw you off balance. Gradually, they work to bend your perception, making you question not only yourself, but also your intrinsic worth. This is how narcissists build their power, by feeding on your instability to reinforce their position. However, when you choose to become a warrior of light, their schemes quickly unravel. A warrior of light is not someone flawless, but someone who fully understands their worth and refuses to let anyone dim the light within them. You know who you are, what you stand for, and that the words or actions of a narcissist do not define you. With sharp intuition and steadfast confidence, you see through their psychological games and refuse to let their venomous words shake your spirit. Instead of doubting yourself, you transform the negative energy they project into strength, using it to move forward and shine even brighter. When you stand firm as a mirror reflecting the truth, the narcissist becomes confused and powerless. Without an easy prey to manipulate, they lose their sense of purpose. Their defeat doesn't come from you aggressively fighting back, but from your refusal to play their game. Your calm determination and high self-esteem become the ultimate weapons that force them to retreat. When they can't control your emotions or turn you into their puppet, they experience profound failure. Your unwavering strength and resilience reveal their own weaknesses, leaving them powerless in the face of your inner light. When you say no to a narcissist, saying no to a narcissist is not merely a refusal, it is a powerful declaration of self-autonomy and self-worth. It's akin to raising the flag of independence, asserting boundaries, and protecting yourself from the subtle intrusions they constantly seek to make. Narcissists thrive on manipulation and control, always attempting to bend your will and breach your personal boundaries. But when you have the courage to say no, you break free from their grip. In that moment, you reclaim your agency and the power to steer your own life. Your refusal is more than just a response. It is a clear statement that you are not easily influenced or controlled. It's crucial to identify your core values and personal boundaries. When faced with unreasonable demands or behaviors that make you uncomfortable, don't hesitate to say no. A simple yet firm statement like, "I don't agree," or "I can't," is an effective way to protect yourself. Keep your response short, clear, and resolute. This leaves no room for the narcissist to manipulate you further. Of course, your refusal may trigger negative reactions. They might become angry, blame you, or resort to tactics like the silent treatment to unsettle you, but don't let fear dictate your actions. Your steadfastness sends the strongest message of all: I am not your puppet. Narcissists can only control you if you allow them to, and when you stop giving them that power, their influence crumbles. Saying no is an act of self-respect and self-protection. It affirms that your boundaries are non-negotiable. When you remain firm and clear, even the most manipulative narcissist will be forced to acknowledge your limits. They may begrudgingly respect you, which is still a sign of your victory. Remember, you are the sole authority over your life, and no one, not even the most cunning narcissist, has the right to dictate your path. When you expose their true self, exposing the true nature of a narcissist is like delivering a powerful shock to the core of their existence, which they fought relentlessly to protect. For a narcissist, their image in the eyes of others isn't just important, it's the sole foundation upon which their distorted self-esteem rests. They invest tremendous time and effort in constructing a flawless facade, a persona they want everyone to believe in and admire. Anyone who threatens or destabilizes this image becomes a significant danger to them. When the truth about their selfishness, deceit, and lack of empathy is revealed, they don't just feel hurt, they feel deeply threatened by the prospect of losing the admiration and control they've tirelessly pursued. The shock doesn't only come from your recognition of their true self, but also from your courage to expose it. This cracks the perfect self they've built, leaving their inner vulnerability and insecurity exposed. They might react with anger, counter-criticize you, or deploy manipulative tactics to regain control. But don't be fooled. This anger is merely a cover for their fear and sense of powerlessness as their carefully constructed image crumbles. For narcissists, nothing is more terrifying than losing their influence over others and watching their perfect facade collapse under the glaring light of truth. Shining without them. Imagine this. What could irritate a narcissist more than seeing you happy, strong, and radiantly shining without any need for them? Narcissists, by nature manipulative, always strive to be the center of your world, controlling every aspect of your life to affirm their own importance. They crave power not only to satisfy their ego, but also to maintain the illusion that you can't live without them. But when you bravely rise, shake off their grip, and step out of the shadows they've created, you don't just dismantle their control, you profoundly unsettle their fragile yet ambitious ego. They cannot bear the truth that you're not just surviving, but thriving, happier, stronger, and even more successful without them. To them, this feels like a betrayal of their very identity. As Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "The strong person doesn't need revenge, for their very existence is an affirmation. Indeed, you don't need to waste time blaming or seeking vengeance, because your radiance is the most powerful statement." What hurts them the most isn't your words or actions, but the undeniable reality that they've lost their power, their influence, and their significance in your life. When you live a life of freedom, meaning, and happiness, you not only reclaim control but also make the narcissist feel small and powerless. They must confront the truth that they are no longer the center of your world. This strikes at the core of their fragile yet inflated ego, exposing the vulnerability they've worked so hard to hide. It's the greatest wound you can inflict, not through hatred, but by proving they are utterly unnecessary to your existence. Your life should never be limited by anyone, especially those who deliberately try to hold you back. You are an independent, strong individual, full of potential and unique value. Don't let anyone's presence or absence define who you are. Step out of your comfort zone, even if it once felt like a familiar cage, and confidently chase your dreams. Don't wait for validation from anyone, especially those who don't deserve it. You are all radiant light on your own. Do the things that make you feel alive. Explore what helps you recognize your true worth. Build a life around what you love, what you're passionate about, and let every step you take be a testament to your freedom and inner strength. You don't need anyone's approval because you are already enough. Your confidence and light make you unstoppable. Remember, living a happy, radiant life is the best response to anyone who ever doubted you. Thank you for watching this video. As you've seen, narcissists, despite their confident and powerful facade, are deeply haunted by the things they cannot control: the truth, your self-worth, and your freedom. The most important thing you can do is recognize your inner strength and refuse to let them control your emotions or your life. Every time you stand tall and live authentically, you not only reclaim your own power, but also force them to confront their greatest fears. Always remember, you don't need validation from anyone, especially not from a narcissist. Your strength lies in owning your life, defining your worth, and living freely on your terms. Don't let fear or their manipulation hold you back. You deserve happiness, peace, and a life free from chains. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to hit the like button, share it with those who need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss future videos. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts or the challenges you've overcome. And remember, you are stronger than any narcissist. See you in the next video.